And joining us now on Battle Cry to talk about the LCA Tejas, this new information that's just been reported by India today, the fallout of it, the implications. Very privileged to be joined by two former officers who probably know more about the light combat aircraft Tejas than anyone else, and they literally know it inside out. And I mean it. It's not just a way of saying things. They know this aircraft inside out. I'd like to introduce them very specifically because this is important to the show and all of those watching. Air Commodore K.A. Muthana was part of the LCA project monitoring team of the Indian Air Force. He was embedded with the labs that were making this aircraft. He headed the National Flight Test Center, engaged in prototype test flying of the LCA. Then he took premature retirement from the Indian Air Force. He joined HAL as chief test pilot for fixed-wing aircraft. He also was the pilot in the cockpit for the maiden flights of both the initial operational clearance and final operation clearance standard production aircraft of the Tejas. Also with us, very happy to have Commodore Jaideep Maolankar. He was chief test pilot of the LCA program between 2009 and 2019, a full decade of test flying. Now remember, the two people on our screen and with us here on Battle Cry aren't just pilots, they are test pilots, which means that the military, the Air Force, the Navy depends on pilots like Air Commodore Muthana and Commodore Maolankar to push aircraft to the very limits of their abilities, their envelopes, to see what they're capable of. And it's extremely crucial to knowing more about what these aircraft can actually do. Thank you very much, sirs, for your time. It's very, very valuable to us as we report, an incredible story that everyone had been hoping for, but I would like to get your views on this as well. Air Commodore Muthana, I'd like to start with you. 100 more LCA Mark 1A to be ordered by the Indian Air Force. We all know that a couple of years ago, 83 were ordered. The big headline now is that the Indian Air Force has pushed a case for ordering 100 more. Your first reactions on this, sir? This is great news.
Yeah, first of all, Shiv, thank you for having me over here. And yes, yesterday I heard this news that they would want 100 more Mark 1s and Mark 1As. And I think it's a great step. I was very, very happy to hear that because, without any breaks beyond the 83, and we can continue to produce aircraft. I understand that HAL will finally scale up to produce 24 aircraft per year. And with that, the existing contracts will run out in just about 3 years or so, by which time the Mark II may not be ready for operational for production test for production, and therefore this 100 will be a great help, and it will also fill up the requisite numbers of aircraft in higher squadrons.
Commodore Maolankar, your first reactions to this news. We do know that defense procurement in India is oftentimes a very slow process, but the Indian Air Force has pushed this case now. They want 100 more. It's formal.
Better late than never. You should have qualified that having two test pilots on, you're not going to get simple yes and no answers. You're going to get complicated, nuanced answers.
Yes.
And I'm saying this better late than never because obviously it's great news. I mean, the more number that we have of indigenous aircraft, the whole system gets lubricated, gets, there's a certain amount of minimum charge that is needed for any system to produce useful results. But if it had been done in one go, a lot of the elements would have been probably done even better in terms of the resource that would have been allocated. Some of the compromises that may have had to be made because of the small numbers. Yeah, I'm talking about in things like the way the production facilities are set up, the way the orders are placed for the raw materials.
Yes.
A lot of these things tend to get streamlined far better if it is known exactly what the full scope of the program is going to be like. So ordering in piecemeal tranches doesn't give you the full benefit of building it yourself and having designed it yourself.
Okay, very important perspective there, that it's better late than never. It should have happened earlier. Piecemeal ordering doesn't serve anybody's purpose and actually makes things more difficult in terms of long-term planning. But better late than never is where it's at.